Wow, ladies and gentlemen, WWE did it. They decided tonight in this feud, 5 weeks before WrestleMania, we are going to turn Randy Orton heel. And the seeds were planted in that segment with Randy saying this wasn't supposed to be how we got here. Drew McIntyre was supposed to be here. And Cody immediately cut him off. Basically, Randy didn't even get to say any words. And then he just snapped. And he attacked Cody. And he gave him a low blow. And there was blood. And steps. And RKOs. And chair shots. And he left Cody Rhodes into a bloody mess. And this seems very similar to last year when John Cena turned heel on Cody Rhodes at the Elimination Chamber. I really hope WWE knew what they did tonight. And by the way, I just want to say that was an incredible segment. That was probably, I would say that was probably better. I mean, I wouldn't go say better, but that segment and the Roman Punk promo in Philadelphia was the two best segments on the road to WrestleMania. It's actually insane how the road to WrestleMania started at the Royal Rumble. And then after that, we've had two good segments. Two very, very awesome segments in 6 weeks on the build to WrestleMania. And this was an incredible segment. An incredible segment. I just hope WWE knows what they got themselves into, because these people in Phoenix, Arizona, they were not booing Randy Orton at the end of the show. They were chanting his name at the end of the show. And it's just like last year. Last year, people wanted to see John Cena win a 17th world title. This year, people, the fans, want to see Randy Orton win his 15th world title. And they decided tonight that they are going to turn Randy Orton heel. And I still think it's going to be a great match at WrestleMania. I just hope that WWE knows going into it, people are not going to be cheering for Cody Rhodes to win this match. No, no, no. No, sir. They want Randy Orton hoisting up the WWE Championship when night one goes off the air. When that first night of WrestleMania on Saturday is over, they want to see Randy Orton hoisting up the WWE Championship, not Cody Rhodes. So WWE, they got themselves, they're backed up into a wall here. And they're like, all right, just like Cody and Cena last year, we got to turn somebody heel. They decided to turn John Cena heel. And it didn't work. Now, Randy Orton has been a heel before. honestly, if you want my opinion, I prefer Randy Orton being a heel than I do a babyface. Randy Orton is a sick, he is twisted. When he's a heel, he's better, in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, he's a great babyface. But Randy Orton as a heel, the legend killer, he is on another level. And this is the version of Randy Orton that I love the most. And um, I'm here for it. Excuse me. I'm here for it. It's also a damn shame that this segment took place on the worst Smackdown of 2026. Just like how that Monday Night Raw a couple weeks ago, when AJ Styles got inducted into the Hall of Fame, that was a very awesome segment. That was a great segment. But that happened on the worst Raw of the year so far. That segment, that heel turn, was phenomenal. It happened on the worst SmackDown of the entire year. By far. There was 7 minutes of good television. And it was the final 7 minutes of the show when Randy Orton turned heel. The rest of the stuff on this show was complete trash. And I'm here to tell you, on the SmackDown side of things at WrestleMania, outside of Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes, there's not a damn thing to be excited about. They are rehashing storylines. They are insulting the fan base by going back to storylines years ago and doing it now and thinking we wouldn't catch up to it. This was horrible. Everything on the show, besides the last 7 minutes, it was awful. Awful. This show on Friday, it's really suffering. And I was questioning earlier. I'm like, is Paul Levesque even trying? Is he even trying on the road to WrestleMania? What is this? Normally, right now, I said it on Monday. Normally, right now, there would be more than 4 matches announced. Are they scrambling still? Are they scrambling about what's going to be on this card? Because by now, they would be announcing matches. Right now, we've only got 4 matches for WrestleMania. That's not good. That's not good at all. So, I thank you guys so much for tuning in. We've got a lot to talk about. This was what I would say was the worst episode of SmackDown the entire year, outside of that Randy Orton heel turn. And WWE is playing a dangerous game, by the way. That's literally going to be the title of this video, of this review. Randy Orton heel turn. How a WWE is playing a very dangerous game with its fans. It's John Cena heel all over again. But we've got a lot to talk about. I apologize yesterday. I was going to do AEW Revolution predictions. I completely forgot. I was finishing schoolwork, and then I forgot. And I am going to post it on TikTok tomorrow. So if you guys are watching this on Saturday, Um, if you guys are watching this on Saturday, um, you'll be watching my AW Revolution predictions over on TikTok. So, um, man, just an off wrestling topic. Um, Again, I'm so sorry if I sound like crap. These allergies, it's so ridiculous. I hate it. I get it every time the season changes. And today I gave it to my girlfriend Alyssa, and it's just like, man, like I just hate the fact that every time the season changes, it gets like this. But I don't know, man. All right. Before we get into the review, go ahead and check out Monday Night Raw for Monday, the review for that. We got the AEW Dynamite review on Wednesday. Tomorrow, here on the channel, we will have a special Miami Dolphins video for you. We'll be talking about all the free agent signings that the Dolphins have had this off season so far. This week started about 12:30 on Monday with Malik Willis, and then they gave out a bunch of one-year deals, which they're trying to build a competitive roster. Good for John Eric Sullivan. We'll talk more about it tomorrow. And then Sunday night into Monday morning, we will be doing the AEW Revolution review for the pay-per-view on Sunday night. Okay, let's get into Smackdown. They did a recap of what happened last week. And then Drew McIntyre came out through the crowd. And he said, Nick Aldis is going to do what's right. And I was screwed last week. I shouldn't have even had to defend my title. And Nick Aldis had to get his golden boy, the WWE Championship, before WrestleMania. So Aldis came out and he said, you lost a match where you headbutted a referee. You wouldn't even be in this position if you didn't do what you did at the Royal Rumble or the Elimination Chamber. And then you got all caught up into yourself. You headbutted the referee. There is no one to blame but you. And then Drew got in his face. He's like, you are going to do what's right, or I am going to do something about it, and it's not going to go well for you. So then Jacob Fatu's music hits, and he said, quite literally, I did what I did last week to right my wrong from Berlin, because I accidentally gave you the WWE Championship. And last week, I was the one who took that chair away. So you don't have to get mad at the fans or referees or Nick or Cody. The person who took it from you is staring you right in the face right now. And he tells Drew, what are you going to do about it? He says, you know what? You know what I'm going to do about it? He gets in Nick's face and he says, I quit. So Drew McIntyre quits SmackDown. And then I'm on social media later on, and I see, they are rehashing the same storyline from 2 years ago, where Drew McIntyre quit WWE in the middle of the feud with CM Punk. I hate how they book Drew McIntyre. WWE hates Drew McIntyre. It's like he's always coming out. He's fucking pissed. He's getting screwed. He's angry. He's quitting. They book him to look like an absolute coward. And I hate it. Like, we need to do better with Drew McIntyre. And it's so lazy. It's so lazy. They did the storyline 2 years ago and they didn't think we would pick up on it. And we did. Spoiler alert, he didn't really quit because he showed up on he came back on the show 2.5 hours later. So now we get into the matches. And our first match was Solo Sikoa and Talatonga against Eric Rowan and Uncle Howdy. You know, we had a gauntlet match last week to crown number one contenders. Damian Priest and R-Truth are the number one contenders for the tag team titles. Why on God's green earth are we still doing the MFTs versus the Wyatts? Absolutely nobody on the internet wrestling community or that goes to these shows gives a rat's ass about this feud. Guess what? Solo looked like an idiot because he got distracted by the lantern. Nikki Cross had the lantern. Howdy hit Sister Abigail, and they lost the match. But hey, guess what? It doesn't matter because Tama Tonga hit the cutthroat onto Howdy, and he got the lantern back. So, they're still feuding over that stupid lantern. And guess what? Based off recent reports where there's going to be about 15 matches at WrestleMania this year, and 6 of them are going to be women's matches. There's going to be some matches that don't make WrestleMania. This story is not going to make the WrestleMania card. And I would be shocked if it does. So that means, once again, another year of the tag team titles not being on WrestleMania. They worked so hard in the summer. That division, that tag team division on Smackdown was the highlight of the show in the summer. And then we got to that 6-man ladder match at SummerSlam, and it all came crashing down. Just with one feud. That's insane. That's insane. Jade Cargill and Michin. Jade won in about 8 minutes. She cut a promo saying that people in the building, they're intimidated by me when I walk by them. And you know what? They should be. Because I'm head and shoulders above everybody in this women's division. And everybody brings up one name. That locker room brings up one name. Rhea Ripley. I'm not a threat. Or she's not a threat. She's not a contender. And she doesn't even scare me. Nothing in my life has scared me. So why would Rhea Ripley? And then Rhea Ripley comes out. Jade leaves the ring. And Rhea Ripley says she's going to be that bitch at WrestleMania. This is not interesting. This is not good. These are not good promos from Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley. Are we going to have to listen to them for 5 weeks? For 5 weeks, calling themselves that bitch? That's annoying. That's annoying. That's not good TV. That's not captivating on the road to the biggest show of the year. That's not good. Hold on, I need a drink real quick. That was hour one. And I tweeted out, man, that is hour one. I'm scared I'm scared the rest of the show is gonna be worse. And we kicked off hour two with Charlotte and Alexa challenging Nia Jax and Lash Legend for the women's tag team titles. But before that match, we got the return of the Bellas. The Bellas came out to a lukewarm reaction. They said, "We've been watching while we've been at home, and the goal is going to remain the same." The Bellas came back to WWE to win the women's tag team titles. So they're just going to sit at ringside and watch this match. And, the match was okay. I didn't think Charlotte and Alexa was going to win this match, but clearly we're setting up for a multi-women tag team match at WrestleMania. Alexa was going to win the match with Twisted Bliss, and I missed the ending of the match, but it ended. I know it ended in a DQ, and it was something where like Nia hit Nikki or something like that, so Brie went to attack Nia. I don't know the whole story, but obviously, this is going to lead to a multi-women match next week on SmackDown. Nia and Lash are defending against the Bellas. I guarantee I can bet $100 Charlotte and Alexa are going to cause a DQ next week. The Bellas cause a DQ this week, so Charlotte and Alexa are going to. You know it's bad. You know it's bad when we are a week out and I can predict exactly what's going to happen. It's bad. So yeah. That was that. What happened next? Where's my notes? Damian Priest and R-Truth against Los Garzas. It was fine. I don't have anything really bad to say about this. It was fine. Damian Priest and R-Truth won. They're just getting more wins for the eventual tag team title match they're going to get against the MFTs. Okay. I do have a thing I want to talk about before we get into hour 3, and it was Sami Zayn. And Sami Zayn and this lazy ass booking from Triple H. So he's doing another backstage segment with Cody, right? And he congrats Cody and he says, I wanted you to do it. I don't want him to make it bigger than it seems, but I'm really proud of you, and I want you to go and do it. I want you to go and do it at WrestleMania. Walk in there proud. And he said thanks. And I heard you said the same thing to Randy Orton, so I see what you're doing. And this is all about you getting up to the top, and you're going to do anything it takes now. Wheeze your way through to the top. Is that what you want, Sammy? Is all of this about the title? You've probably already got a match lined up with Randy Orton if he beats me at WrestleMania. You can have a match lined up with me after WrestleMania as well. We'll go to Nick Aldis' office together, and we'll get you a WWE Championship match. He said, "You think I'm that desperate, Cody? You think I would go that low for a WWE Championship match?" He said, "I said the same thing to Randy Orton because I look up to Randy Orton. Randy Orton is one of one. Randy Orton is a legend in professional wrestling. There will never be another Randy Orton." So, yes, I said the same thing to Randy Orton. But I actually look up to Randy Orton. I don't look up to you. I don't look up to you at all, Cody. And Cody had such a great bar. This was awesome. Cody said, good. You don't have to look up at me. You can just look down at this. And he patted the WWE Championship. Okay, that was great. So then Cody walks away, and Sammy's hesitating. He's hesitating, and he crashes out, right? He smacks the water bottles, and then Alistair comes up. And this is the same fucking thing they did with Karrion Kross last year. And Alistair says, you know, some things aren't just meant to be. And what's not meant to be is Sami Zayn winning the WWE Championship. And Sami said, you better be careful who you're talking to. Stay out of my way. Stay out of my business. This is the same fucking thing they did with Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross last year. They're really going to rehash the same storyline, this time with Aleister Black. Come on, Paul. We're not fooled by this one. We're not fooled. But again, I need another sip because what we're about to talk about right here is the worst segment of the entire year so far. There can't be anything quite possibly worse than this segment. And this sets up your celebrity, comedy, whatever you want to name it, your celebrity match at WrestleMania. So, Miz is with Danhausen backstage. And he says, since you're my mentor, you know, I want to do the same show as you, but I want to name it with my stuff. And good night with Hausen and all this bullshit. And he says, if you want me to undo the curse, I'll do my own talk show. And Miz says no. So the second week in a row, he gets cursed by Danhausen. And he brings out Jelly Roll. And they're talking about Cody and Randy Orton. And he says, you know, Jelly Roll, these people think you have an inspiring story. Right? You had your first match in WWE here at SummerSlam. And, you know, you had to get yourself down to 250, whatever the fuck it was, 250 pounds. And, you know, you wouldn't have done that without me. Because a year and a half ago, when we were at SummerSlam together in my hometown of Cleveland, Ohio, and you were on your knees, and I helped you up, you realized you had to change. That point forward, when you had to have two people help you up from the floor, you realized you needed to lose weight. And you lost all the weight you did because of me. And Jelly says, you are not going to take the credit for me losing the weight that I did. I busted my ass. I worked hard. I trained every day. And then Miz says, I don't like you now that you're skinny. I'm like, are we fucking serious? Dude, this is a professional wrestling segment. Do we really have a segment where we're talking about a guy losing weight, and then Kit Wilson comes out. Kit Wilson's the other comedy character on SmackDown. He says, "Don't worry, Miz. You're not the issue here. It is Tootsie Roll over here. Tootsie Roll over here, thinking he could just waltz into our business, do what he wants, go make some music or something." He's like, "Wait a second." Jelly Roll's like, "Wait a second. Kit, we actually like you. You're funny. You're cool. You're entertaining, unlike The Miz. Don't be like The Miz. You're funny and entertainment." And he shakes his hips like Kit Wilson. And Kit Wilson says, "Now you're mocking me. Now you're disrespecting me." And then Kit pushed Jelly Roll. And then Jelly Roll knocked out Miz. This was the worst fucking segment of the entire year. And after that right there, I was ready to turn off the show. I didn't, but I could have turned off the show right there. Couldn't believe what I was listening to. And now next week, they're going to do Kit Wilson calls out Jelly Roll. And this will lead to a tag team match or a singles match with Jelly Roll and The Miz. Or it could lead to The Miz and Kit Wilson against Jelly Roll and Danhausen. I think they're leaning towards a singles match with The Miz and Jelly Roll. Great. Great. Yeah, we're going to waste a WrestleMania match on fucking Jelly Roll. It was fine when they had him in the ring at SummerSlam with guys like Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, and Logan Paul. But now he's going to have a match with Miz? Wow. That's what I want to see at WrestleMania. I want to watch Jelly Roll versus The Miz. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Ridiculous. Tiffany Stratton declares she's going after Julia in the Women's United States Championship. So she has a match with Kiana James tonight. She beats Kiana James after she dumps Julia onto Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. Trick Williams and Jacob Fatu, they go one-on-one in the main event. And what and behold, Drew McIntyre comes out, attacks Jacob Fatu while the ref is checking on Trick Williams, throws him on the steel post, gives him a Claymore kick, throws him into the ring. Trick hits 2 trick shots, and he pins Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu just casually eating pins now. Nice. This guy was a monster in the summer. Now he's just, he's casually losing matches on a random SmackDown. Nice. Takes a Claymore after the match, so. Drew McIntyre quit for 2.5 hours. Just to then attack Jacob Fatu. And then we had the contract signing, which I kind of talked about in the beginning. But I'll go over it again. Cody's cutting a promo how when he first came into WWE, Randy Orton won the Royal Rumble. Pointed at the sign. He says, "That's inspiring. I want to be just like Randy Orton." And when he goes back to what JBL always used to say about him, you think of a professional wrestler with the physique, the in-ring ability, the charisma, you think of Randy Orton. and you're one of the greats of all time. And I'm honored to step in the ring with you. And Randy's like, you just don't get it. You don't get it, Cody. Like, I need this so much. I need that WWE championship. This could have been done easier. This shouldn't have been done the hard way. It should be Drew. It was supposed to be Drew. And then he cut him off. And they shook hands. And Randy, he smashed his head on the announce table. He gave Cody a low blow. He tore his shirt off. He threw him into the steel post. He was coming up bleeding after that. Then he gave Cody an RKO. And the crowd went fucking crazy. And they were cheering for a Randy Orton heel turn. And then he got steps. And agents waved him off. And for some reason, Jelly Roll was out there. And Jelly Roll tried to talk sense into Randy. But Randy pushed him. And he left. And he came back around. He had a steel chair. He took that chair. Cody's head's in between the steps. Boom. Chair shot to the head. And the show goes off the air with Randy Orton getting his name chanted and staring at the WWE Championship. Incredible segment. Again, incredible segment. I just hope WWE knows what they got themselves into. So, that is your SmackDown review tonight. Absolutely the worst show of the year. The worst SmackDown of the year, despite that heel turn. Everything else on that show is just complete shit. So, I have a Dolphins video tomorrow for my Miami Dolphin fans, and then Sunday night into Monday morning, AEW Revolution review. So a packed weekend here on the channel, and I can't wait to bring it to you. Subscribe, comment, hit the like button if you like what you heard from me. Follow me on Twitter and TikTok, Conlin_Joseph, and I'll see you guys tomorrow to talk some Miami Dolphins. Peace.